this trill. I read through this once very quickly before, and I know I normally like play it straight through, and I'm totally not doing that today. This, the first time it's written with the two 16th note grace notes, but then every other time it's written as a trill. And I feel like that's just a shorthand, and what he meant was to do it the same way as the beginning, just the two grace notes, because there's not really time to do more than one rotation. I think it's kind of like a mordent, and I'm going back and forth on whether I want to do right hand B, left hand C sharp, or left hand B, right hand C sharp. But I've noticed, like here, the trill feels a little bit easier if I do it from holding down the left hand B and then trilling on the right hand C sharp. But it's not as, I don't feel like that's as easy to get into. For some reason, it feels easier to get into the right hand B and then trilling it on the left hand. Anyway, I think I'm gonna try and play it. Do things just completely out of order today. This is gonna make editing this for YouTube super fun when I get there. But I think now I'm gonna try and play it through without stopping, even though I haven't yet managed it. So let's try it, and I'm gonna do my best to go no matter what happens and not stop. Very good. I heard it, you heard it. It wasn't very good. I think I'm gonna just do that one more time from the top. I might go a little slower. Maybe more like 60 instead of 63. Maybe even closer to like 55. And then this time, the only challenge I'm going to set myself is to maintain my focus all the way through. And to kind of regroup faster, because I will make mistakes, because this is a new study for me. It's not one I remember super well. But I'm going to set myself the challenge of regrouping faster and keeping my focus, even if something goes funny or if something hits the eye funny, whatever. So I'm going to go one more time at the beginning. at the end, but I think that was better. So 2 things I thought of kind of in between playthroughs was, one, there are no dynamic markings. There's nothing phrasing wise. And that's more or less how I played it. Like, there's not really a whole lot going on. So I want to consult the Height edition. Again, if you're following along in the Height Artistic Studies edition, this is actually number 15 and not number 16. This is one of the first ones where he kind of puts in a little bit of like a memo. And he says, flowing without accents, very even, well-sustained, clear sound, which I think is a kind of a good brief for this one, because it should be quite even. It should sound kind of like the challenge is to not let the high notes stick out, to not let the trills stick out, and have everything fit kind of evenly. And one of the hardest things I think about this one for me is the slur two pattern. I think I've mentioned this in other streams, that that's just quite hard for me. I don't really know why, but I tend to stumble over that articulation grouping. I definitely should practice it more. But I feel like maybe it's because I spend so much time on like the faster single articulations that these slur two pattern sometimes gets neglected, and that's why it doesn't sound as good. But he has it starting mezzo. Oh, that's the highlighter. We don't want the highlighter. Has it starting mezzo piano and a little decrescendo here. Pretty much stays the same. I am also going to take note of his breath marks, because I think that'll be handy, because there are long stretches of this where there is not a place that sticks out as a good place to breathe. So I'm going to take note of his. He has a meno mosso, like a little bit of I'm going to write rit, because I'm assuming that's what he means, like a rit here. And then an a tempo here. Let's try that. I want to try that when we get there and see what I think of that. I think one of the first things I want to decide is, where is this going? Like the end, we start at mezzo piano. Oh, it's very like medium. He inked in this peak phrase here with this forte, bottom line of like the first little chunk, bottom line of this page where we jump to the top for the ending of it. But he doesn't have any, and the last 2 lines have no dynamic markings whatsoever. We crescendo, we have the forte at the bottom line of the page, 4th measure, and then a crescendo, but then nothing. So I want to sort that out first. Let's play this last kind of phrase grouping, and I want to sort out the ending. So I'm going to start the last measure of the second to last line of the page. Last measure of the 4th line from the end overall, if that helps you follow. I like that little rit there. I think I'm going to put it in parentheses because I don't want it to be too much. But I think I'm also going to need to grab a breath there, because my last breath would have been in this quarter rest back here, 3rd line from the bottom. Or no, yeah. So no. From the 8th rest, the line before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 measures before. But I think I'm going to need that additional breath. That jump is quite tricky. I think if I were playing this in a performance tomorrow, I may lightly tongue the high B just to tidy it up. It's not written tongued. It's clearly written with a slur. But if I had to perform this on an audition or performance or whatever tomorrow, I might lightly tongue that high B just to sort it out. If I was not playing it tomorrow and I was practicing it for a week, I would work on making that slur, that transition, that register change as smooth and even as possible without letting that high B kind of scream out and without any kind of weird finger blips. But I don't know that I can accomplish that in like the hour-ish I have left. So this is the next thing I want to sort out, is that the B trill fingering at the top here, where we take that original theme up an octave. I think I'm going to do, it makes sense to do the side key version. It's quite flat, but it's a trill, so I think it's okay. The other option would be to lift the thumb off the thumb hole in the register key. But I feel like that is harder from a technique standpoint to make it sound nice. The side key is definitely going to sound nicer technique-wise, but the pitch isn't quite as good. So I feel like all that should crescendo. It should just kind of keep going until that 16th rest. And then maybe it comes back a little bit like a mezzo forte. And then we build the rest of the way to the end. And there, I missed it the first time, but we want to be sure to use the chromatic F sharp fingering for that little section in the final line of the study, second from the top if you're looking at the screen. So I'm going to write CHROM for chromatic to remember to use that fingering, but I'll have to flip the last two to make sure I'm in the right place. Let me go back a little bit. So that mezzo forte, the crescendo should really continue until that B, and then the mezzo forte starts on the E sharp. And I think it will build to the end and that will sound nice. Or should it be even softer? I think mezzo forte is good. Yeah, I think so. I think it should go back a little bit mezzo, maybe mezzo piano to mezzo forte, and then kind of crescendo all the way to the end and end forte. So I'm going to get back into this one. Now that I've kind of sorted out the pacing of the end, I'm going to go back a little bit. I want to put that in context. I'm going to go back to the same place, the a tempo, at the beginning of the bottom of the page. The third measure of the bottom line of the page. There. For a minute, I wanted to slow down a little bit going into the end, but I don't actually want to do that. I want to keep the air speed and the tempo moving forward to the end. Maybe the last two notes, there's like a tiny bit of space between them where I place them. So let's go back to the beginning and work through this a little bit. I got a little bit faster there at the end, so I'm going to slow back down a little bit. I think I'm going to change my fingering there. I'm going to play the right hand C sharp. I think that'll solve the issue. I've been doing left hand C sharp. That's usually the one I go for, but I think right hand will be better. That was much better. And I'm also going to continue it and do the right hand on the F sharp as well. I think that'll tidy it up a lot better. Yeah, that was much better. That fingering combination worked a lot better. Same thing there. I'm going to put another right hand R over that C sharp. I tend to use my right and left pinkies for the C sharp interchangeably, but I gravitate towards the left hand one more often, and sometimes when I shouldn't. Sometimes when I should use the right hand one, and that's definitely what's happening there. Nope, that should be a natural. I didn't miss that before, but I'm going to mark it. And so I want to do left hand B there. Let's go ahead and mark that in as well. That's better. So I'm going to keep going from where I left off. I don't know how to mark that. I'm going to highlight it. That transition from the low B to the high B, if I am not ready for it today, maybe every day, but today for sure, it's not going to sound very good. So I think the secret there is to take a big breath. Even though it's not really marked that way, I think I really need a big breath here. Like almost a little bit of like a mini grand pause. Because if I really take the moment to get a good proper breath, I'm going to execute that restatement of the theme up the octave. That big jump from B to B is going to sound better. All right, I'm going to keep going. I want to work on this transition a little more. That's a weird little turnaround. I'm going to make a little note to play right hand B there. I did it the first time, but the second time I did not execute it as well. So I want to make sure I mark it. I went too fast. I need to slow back down. This is Allegretto, not Allegro. Yeah, I was definitely going too fast. Oh, I did it again. That is still a C natural. I'm going to do that section one more time. I wrote in a decrescendo there, but I keep trying to crescendo, and I might like that better. I want a crescendo there. I'm not really sure why he wrote the decrescendo, but I like it with a little, not too much crescendo, but some. So that maybe we're like mezzo forte here. So maybe we did decrescendo a little bit getting into that spot. Maybe here we did a little bit of decrescendo and then we'll crescendo back into that second part of the phrase. So that moment, it's different. Every other time we have the theme, it's an F sharp to the B. But this time it's a B to B. breath where I was supposed to. So I did kind of a weird breath at the end. I want to make sure I take that other breath. So I'm going to make it look nicer so that I really remember. So I don't want to breathe between those last two notes. I just want to put a little bit of air between them, a little bit of space so that they are placed more nicely. Like that. But I don't want to be dying and running out of air by the time I get there. Let me do that stretch one more time. I think I'm gonna start a little bit softer there. Let's not, instead of a mezzo forte, let's make that a mezzo piano so that we have more room to grow into the end. For an hour and a half, 40 minutes worth of work, I made some good improvements, but I want to do it one more time. All right, I'm gonna go one more time from the beginning.